All right, hey fifth graders, we are going to continue learning how to multiply mixed numbers by various types of other numbers. So our last lesson was on multiplying mixed numbers by whole numbers, and that process was putting the whole number over 1, turning the mixed number into an improper fraction, and then multiplying straight across. Well, today is going to be pretty much exactly the same, except we're going to have one less step. We won't need to turn a whole number into a fraction because we're going to be given a fraction. So we don't even have to do anything to that fraction piece. So recall, in order to multiply mixed numbers by other numbers, we must first turn the mixed number into an improper fraction using our times z plus z skills. Then we can multiply straight across. That's the beauty of multiplying fractions. It's a lot easier than adding and subtracting fractions where we had to create common denominators. You do not need any common denominators. You just simply multiply straight across once you've gotten all of the whole numbers out of the way. So in general, 3 very easy steps. Turn your mixed number into an improper fraction using your times z plus z skills. So multiplying your denominator by the whole number. So if I had, let's say, I don't know, 1.5, you multiply your denominator by the whole number and add that to the numerator. So this would be 2 times 1 is 2 plus 1 is 3, and you keep the denominator the same. So that's a skill we've already mastered. The second step is to multiply straight across. So once you've gotten all of the whole numbers out of the way, you can now multiply straight across. And your last step is to turn your improper fraction answer back into a mixed number by using division, and simplify if needed. Always simplify your final answer. Let's do an example. So I have 3 3/4 times 2/3. So I cannot just start multiplying straight across because this 3 is in the way. So we need to get, quote unquote, rid of that 3, but we can't just throw it in the garbage. But what we can do is we can turn this into an improper fraction. So that way we're not losing the 3, but we are getting it out of the way. So 4 times 3 is 12. 12 plus 3 is 15. So this is 15/4 times 2/3. So I'm going to go ahead and now I can multiply straight across because there are no whole numbers in the way, and we get 30/12. Oh, that's a 12. And my last step is to turn it into an improper fraction, to turn this improper fraction into a mixed number and then simplify. Well, 12 goes into 30 2 whole times. That gets us to 24. And the difference between 24 and 30 is 6. So this is 2 6/12. And 6/12 can be simplified by dividing by 6, and that gives us 2.5 as our final answer. So that is how you multiply a mixed number by a fraction. Let's do this next example. 4/5 times 6.5. We need to turn the the mixed number into an improper fraction using our times z plus z skills. So this is really 4/5 times, well, 2 times 6 is 12 plus 1 is 13 halves. Now we can multiply straight across. I challenge you to use your cross simplifying first. I could have actually done it on this problem. I'm going to go ahead and simplify before I multiply because I notice that I have a 4 and a 2, and I can divide both of those by 2. So 2 divided by 2 is 1. 4 divided by 2 is 2. And now I can multiply straight across, and I get 26/5. 5 goes into 26 5 whole times with 1 left over, and that's your answer. Now take a look. If you had multiplied straight across right from the get-go, so without cross simplifying, I'll go ahead and show you how that's done, and we'll arrive at the same exact answer. Here I would get, let's see, 40 plus 12 is 52/10. 10 goes into 52 5 whole times, and there's 2 left over. And 2/10 can be simplified to 1/5 by dividing the top and bottom by 2. So either way, whether you cross simplify first or multiply and then simplify, you get to the same correct answer. Let's do a couple more together, and then I challenge you to do the backside on your own and check the website for the answer key to make sure you're doing it correctly. So 5 1/3 times 1/6. I need to turn this into an improper fraction. 3 times 5 is 15 plus 1 is 16 thirds times a sixth. Again, I'm going to go ahead and cross simplify to make my life a little easier. 16 and 6 are both divisible by 2. 6 divided by 2 is 3, and 16 divided by 2 is 8. Now I'm going to multiply straight across, and I get 8/9. And I'm done. That cannot be simplified. Let me show you how it could have been done without cross simplifying. So if I just left it as 16/3 times 1/6, if I multiply straight across, I get 16/18. And now I have to simplify, divide the top and bottom by 2 because they're both even, and I get 8/9 either way. So you have two options to get to the same answer. I challenge you to start cross simplifying first. It really does make life a lot easier. All right, and our last one together, 7/10. Actually, I lied, we've got the word problem at the bottom. 7/10 times 1 2/3. This is the same thing as 7/10 times, let's see, turn that into an improper fraction. 3 plus 2 is 5/3. I'm going to cross simplify. 5 goes into 5 once, 5 goes into 10 twice. Now I multiply straight across, and I get 7/6. And that is the same thing. 6 goes into 7 one whole time, and there's 1 left over, and that's your final answer. And let's do one word problem together. Meredith bought 4.5 pounds of chicken. Her sister bought 1/3 of the amount of the amount that Meredith bought. How much did her sister buy? Okay, well, 1/3 of the amount, we need to take a third of this, which is multiplication. So we are going to do 1/3 times 4.5. I need to clear the skies so I can send my multiplication jets straight across. That's kind of a silly metaphor I use. So this is 1/3 times 8 plus 1 is 9/2. Again, I'm using my times E plus E skills. And I can cross simplify, so I'm going to do that. 3 goes into 3 once, 3 goes into 9 3 times, and we get 3/2, which is equal to 2 goes into 3 one whole time, and there is 1 left over. So the sister bought 1.5 pounds. LBS is the abbreviation for pounds of chicken. All right, go ahead and complete the back side and check the website for the answer key.